All right, let's begin.
Number one, so you need to figure out what exactly is that other person wants, and then you can play to their fantasy about it. For example, in the past, if I've become like infatuated with someone and I'm like, they're not even my type, why is this the case? 9 times out of 10, it is because they have something I want and they painted a picture with me with having that thing that they have. For example, maybe you are a poor, lonely boy that's not getting any girls, you're insecure, you're overweight, and you meet this girl and she's beautiful, she's popular, she lives an amazing life, and she paints a picture of you two being together. By you being with her, you're going to get social recognition, people are going to look at you differently, they're going to treat you better, and you become obsessed with her. Because number one, she painted the picture, she played to your fantasy, and number two, she has something you don't have.
And this is why the most important thing to prevent manipulation is to control your fantasies. Don't let a woman play with the things you see in your mind. Because as soon as you allow her to do that to you, you're fucked. You're fucked. It's like when you just want boom boom from a woman, for example. Like when you want sex so badly, you literally ignore all the red flags. For example, I just said you want a girl, right? And you also want sex. And you meet this girl and she after 5 minutes, she's sucking your dick. Yeah, that's right. And you're in your mind, you're like, oh man, I'm the man. Yeah, of course, I'm the shit, man. Oh Lord, I'm so awesome. All this fantasy. This is a dream come true. And you might say to yourself, it's because I'm the shit, it's because I'm charming. It's like I said in my video today. It's like she's not doing it because it's you. She's doing it because it's her. This is what she does. It's like when you are only trying to fulfill fantasies, you ignore red flags. It's just that simple.
The easiest way to do this is actually to figure out someone's insecurities and then affirm it to them. A really easy example is short men. Short guys, naturally they're insecure about their height. Whether it's something objectively to be insecure about or not, I don't know, we're not talking about that, but they are insecure. And something I've observed in a lot of shorter than average men is because of this, they crave so much female validation. I was discussing this with one of my friends the other day. We love to talk about psychology, human behavior, and we were saying, why are all the top male YouTubers, especially in finance, they're all 5'8", 5'7", and our theory was because perhaps they feel so insecure they need to mog in other areas and like excessively mog, which is why they become so rich, they get so much clout on social media, and then they use that to get girls to ultimately make them feel better about being a short king. And this is a pattern I've observed time and time again. This is just an example. So
Yeah, that's an example that does happen, right? Or even it explains why the most successful men are psychopaths or sociopaths, right? And the reason why is because it attracts a certain person with a certain lack in the inside, right? They lack a certain validation that well, if you're a psychopath, one of the things that they'll tell you is that they're very depressed people, right? And also they're very competitive. And because of that, it draws them to the business world because it helps people who are very competitive, people who have Machiavellian tendencies, and they're drawn to those types of things, right?
what happens if you get a short king? Don't even mention his height, just be like,
just so masculine and strong and tall and buff and
don't hate the player, hate the game. That's what I've noticed. How do you figure out someone's insecurities? Sometimes it's easy to see. For example, just look at societal expectations. Number one, if they don't fall into that expectation, they're probably insecure about it. And if they're not, you just need to listen.
That's very true.
Everyone reveals who they are and what they're insecure about just by talking. You just need to shut up and listen. Number two, hot and cold method. Now we talked about this in the other video. I'm going to give you a technique a little bit more devious and further than what we talked about previously. So in the context of making someone feel good about their insecurities, you want to keep giving them praise and approval. And eventually you want to stop. Maybe abruptly. They're going to crave this again because you become their source of validation. And then they're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do without this validation? This will especially work on people who just simply can't validate themselves, which is why all people who are manipulators and then narcissists, they go for weak targets, which is why I stress in all my videos, guys, you need to have a healthy mindset, you need to go to therapy, you need to work on yourself, because there are fucking evil people in the world. That's why it's so important you need to self-validate in order to protect yourself from those people. And this happens in really subtle ways. Imagine you're talking to someone.
Yeah, self-validation is really difficult, especially for young people, because you're more wired to care what your friends think of you than an older person, right? So you're just more wired for needy, creepy behavior. And that's why it takes maturity, and that maturity comes from you developing your frontal cortex. Um, Generally speaking, meditation develops that. When you practice meditation on a consistent basis, you're able to develop that self-awareness and that capacity to not care what your friends think of you. Like it pretty much comes down to that.
New, or you meet a new friend and they're really affirming all your insecurities, they're giving you approval over things, even if you're not asking for approval. Eventually you just simply crave it. For example, maybe you're a photographer and every time you post a photo, that friend comments, love this photo.
You see this a lot with YouTube, right? When you're used to getting a certain amount of views and you stop getting those views, you panic, right? Like something in you panics, something in you says, "Oh fuck," like you just get a little shaky. The reason why is because you got used to that amount of validation. Now you're not getting that amount of validation, and now you start craving it, and even you start getting frustrated. You start to think, "What's wrong with me?" And this is where it gets dark, because if you have low self-esteem and somebody validates you and stops validating you, your thoughts are going to start gravitating towards, what did I do wrong? When in reality, most likely you didn't do nothing wrong. Most of the time, we don't do nothing wrong. Most of the time, some people are just uncomfortable with getting close, with intimacy. That's the issue with dating nowadays. A lot of you guys are getting rejected by women, and you think it's because of you. You don't realize that they're rejecting you because a lot of times these women are incapable of staying with someone. Now you might say, "Oh, but they're fucking Chad." Yeah, they're fucking Chad, but when I'm talking about, like, because again, there are two types of women for women: the Chads and the Bob, the relationship. Okay, and so a lot of the times, most of the time, a lot of you guys fit in the Bob area. This is how it is. Like, you don't fit for short term mating. Like that's just what the truth is, right? But the problem is that as you get older, you're gonna start noticing that the women you didn't want, like a lot of guys will tell you, they all of a sudden want them now, right? Well, it's because it's not because all of a sudden they like you. No, their priorities changed. In fact, that girl is not attracted to the Chad no more. She sees through the Chad, but she likes you. But you already been through her bullshit. You're like, "Now fuck you, man. Now you want me? Now fuck out of here, man. Go get yourself a therapist." The fuck?
Love it. And they do this 10 times and then they randomly stop. You're gonna be like, is this a good photo? Why didn't they comment? And then they don't do it for a couple of photos and boom, next photo they comment, love this photo. Dopamine hit. You just got their approval again. Let them project a fantasy onto you. We talked about this in terms of insecurities and, that person usually has something you want. But in terms of seduction especially, it is really good to play to someone's fantasy by entirely being a blank slate. So they can paint whatever picture they want onto you and you go along with that. If you ask me, that's a really tough facade to keep up, but I've seen it work. Whether or not you have the capability to do that, honey.
Politicians do this better because politicians, she has a very pretty smile. Politicians have they're able to have more distance to hide those qualities, right? But if you see them on a daily basis, that may not be the strategies you want.
That is up to you, but it works. Manipulate their moments of weakness. This again can stem from the earlier points. If someone shows weakness to you or their insecurities, you affirm it and you make them feel good. And then at a later point in time, you can weaponize it against them.
It's very important to listen
that's
first.
crazy shit. Yeah, and honestly, this is where you're a narcissist if you do this. This is where you're pretty much asking for revenge from the universe, right? Because again, you do this on someone, you do it on the wrong person, they're gonna want revenge. Some people have long memories, and if you do this to them, they're never gonna forget. For example, my father who passed away, who like me, used my vulnerability to be a sense of support and weave his way into my life to make me like him and would disappear to create. Oh God. Well, yeah, it didn't work because maybe you didn't like him a lot, but I can promise you, if you like them, like again, this works a lot of the times just based on how we feel about the other person.
I actually liked him. It wasn't until this all wore off that I was like, I don't like this man. He's a fucking psychopath. People who are cunning and manipulative, they're going to sense when you're weak. They're going to swoop in and they're going to get what they want from you. Paint a picture.
Yeah, it sucks.
Of their life with you, especially if they want what you have. Oh my God, we can do this trip together. Imagine how beautiful our kids are gonna look. You can also talk about, oh, my future husband or my future wife, because they're naturally gonna be like, why are you talking about that when I'm right here? Like, that should be me. And they try to prove themselves harder to you. Doesn't work on everyone, just works on them if they're weak, and a lot of people are weak. Love bomb them.
I mean, she got that on her end. She watches my channel, people. She's one of those loyal disciples of Father Alex. All right, we're going to finish watching this another time. If you guys want me to finish it, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys later. Take care.
All right, guys, we're going to have a brief intermission so that I can tell you guys about our new bundle that we're doing where you guys can purchase all of my courses and get it at a discount. So this bundle is pretty much the bundle where you could just buy all of my courses. You could buy Nice Guy, which is a training course on how to come across more assertive, how to come across more confident, how to not give off nice guy vibes. You guys can get access to Dark Game, which is my full dating course on how to meet women in different scenarios, how to attract women, how to make sure you don't come across as creepy, and essentially how to act like a man and not act like a doofus, to be quite honest with you. And you get all of these bonuses, which is the bonuses of Dark Game, the bonuses of Practical Mastery, which is about how to master a skill, Social Mastery, which is how to master your social life, and the Laws of Human Nature, which is a book club videos that I had dissecting Robert Greene's book. All of this is naturally at around naturally is at $346, but you guys can purchase this bundle and get it at what's the price again? Get it at $238 pretty much. So you guys can purchase it right now. It's a money back 30-day money back guarantee. It's a good way to, rather than just buying them individually and paying extra, you guys can just purchase everything at a discount price. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that I'm giving you a lot of information at the same time. That makes me kind of scared because a lot of times people don't do the things that I teach when you get too much information. But I've gotten too many requests to do this, so I'm just satisfying you guys. Purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle. All right, let's continue with the video.